It's the year 1347. Ships arrive in European ports carrying mysterious goods from the east. But hidden in those wooden hulls are not just spices and silks. They carry death itself. Within a few years, half of Europe's population will vanish. Now, let's twist the story. Imagine the same Black Death, the same plague. But this time, the world has the internet. Social media, instant communication, Google, even live tracking maps. Would humanity survive? Or would panic spread even faster than the disease? This is not just a story of history, it's a thought experiment that forces us to rethink how technology shapes our survival. A world without answers. The real Black Death began in 1347, when ships from the Black Sea docked in Sicily. The sailors were dying, their bodies covered in black boils. Within months, the disease swept through Europe. At that time, no one knew what caused it. Many believed it was a punishment from God. Others blamed bad air, or even foreign groups, leading to mass persecutions. But now, let's insert the internet into 1347. Imagine a frightened peasant seeing a neighbor fall sick. Instead of whispering rumors in the market, he posts about it online. Greater than, "My village is cursed. People are dying in days. What is happening?" That single post could reach across continents instantly. But here's the question. Would the internet bring truth, or would it multiply fear? Information spreads faster than disease. One reason the plague spread so fast was because news traveled so slowly. A village might not know what hit the next town until it was too late. With the internet, every new outbreak would hit global feeds. Think of real-time dashboards, like the ones we saw during COVID-19. A red map glowing with infected zones. A global panic button. But panic is a double-edged sword. Some might use the internet to warn others to quarantine, while others might spread fake cures. Drink vinegar daily. Kill the cats, they bring the plague. This group caused it. Destroy them. The tragedy? Killing cats actually made the plague worse, because fewer cats meant more rats, and more rats meant more fleas. The real carriers. So here's the conflict. The internet might spread life-saving knowledge, but it could also turbocharge deadly mistakes. Authority versus chaos. In the 14th century, the Catholic Church held enormous power. But even the priests and monks died in the thousands. Faith alone could not stop the plague. Now imagine 1347 with governments and churches facing online backlash. People demanding answers in comment sections. Hashtags trending like hashtag stop the plague, hashtag God's wrath, or hashtag science knows best, hashtag quarantine. Now, would leaders impose lockdowns, or would online conspiracy movements resist them? We've seen this conflict in our own time, science versus misinformation, and history shows us that fear doesn't always make people logical. Science connects across centuries. One of the saddest truths about the Black Death is that medieval medicine simply wasn't advanced enough. Doctors wore strange plague masks filled with herbs, thinking it filtered bad air. But they didn't know about bacteria or germs. With the internet, imagine scholars in Italy, England, and the Islamic world sharing notes instantly. In reality, Islamic physicians already had some advanced ideas about quarantine and disease. If they had collaborated globally online, germ theory might have been discovered centuries earlier. Could vaccines or antibiotics have been developed faster? Maybe not instantly, but the seeds of modern medicine might have been planted in the 14th century, not the 19th. Humanity could have jumped forward hundreds of years. The human side of online plague. The Black Death wasn't just about death counts. It broke families, villages, entire societies. Parents abandoned children. Trade collapsed. Culture froze. With the internet, imagine medieval diaries going viral. Greater than, "I buried my wife and 3 children today. God forgive me, I no longer have tears." Posts like these would humanize the tragedy, connecting people across borders. But they would also intensify grief on a global scale. Everyone would be constantly exposed to the horror. Would humanity unite in compassion or collapse under fear, propaganda, and blame online. One of the darkest parts of the plague was the wave of scapegoating. Entire communities, especially Jews, were massacred because people falsely believed they spread the plague. With the internet, propaganda could spread even faster. Conspiracy posts would go viral, mobs would organize online, and hate could ignite instantly. But on the flip side, counter voices could also rise. Global solidarity campaigns, voices defending the innocent, could balance the hate. The internet could either magnify humanity's worst instincts or its best. Economy and power shift. The Black Death killed so many workers that Europe's economy transformed. Suddenly, peasants had bargaining power, wages rose, feudalism began to crack. Now, add the internet. Would online organizing accelerate peasant revolts? Imagine hashtags like #fair wages, #no more lords. The internet could act as the first labor union, centuries before modern revolutions. The plague could have sparked not just a demographic shift, but a political revolution, centuries earlier than the French or American revolutions. Culture, faith, and art online. The real plague reshaped art and religion. Paintings turned darker, obsessed with death. Faith was shaken. New philosophies about life and mortality emerged. With the internet, imagine medieval TikTok or YouTube flooded with plague songs, poetry, and sermons. Memes about death? Yes, even then. Humor as survival. Would people cling harder to faith or embrace science sooner? The online cultural battle would shape the future of Europe itself. What if it worked? Now let's imagine the best-case scenario. The internet helps identify fleas and rats as carriers. Quarantines are enforced with better coordination. Medicine advances faster. The plague is slowed, maybe even contained. If that happened, Europe might never lose 1/3 of its population. Whole kingdoms, languages, and cultures that disappeared might survive. History itself would be rewritten. But there's another twist. Without the Black Death, feudalism might have lasted longer. The Renaissance might never have happened. The modern world we know, born out of the ashes of plague, might not exist. So here's the paradox. Would saving lives also mean delaying progress? Comparing to COVID-19. Now we fast forward to our own time. When COVID-19 struck, we had the internet. Real-time dashboards, instant communication, scientists sharing genomes online in days. Vaccines developed in record time. But we also saw misinformation, miracle cures, conspiracy theories, anti-science movements. The same forces that could have shaped 1347 were alive in 2020. The difference? In our age, the internet helped us survive. In the 14th century, it might have pushed humanity either into salvation or into even deeper chaos. The paradox of survival. So could humanity stop the Black Death with the internet? Yes, the tools of communication, collaboration, and science could have saved millions. But those same tools could have amplified fear, hate, and division. The internet doesn't erase human nature. It magnifies it. And maybe that's the real lesson. Survival isn't just about technology. It's about what we choose to do with it. So I leave you with this. If the internet had existed in 1347, would humanity have been wise enough to use it? Or would we still destroy ourselves with fear? What do you think? Comment below. Because the debate isn't just about the past, it's about our future.